Hi, I'm the Nature Kid, and in this video, I'm going to tell you about bees. There are many different types of bees, but the honeybee is probably the most well-known kind of bee. Bees drink nectar from flowers and pollinate flowers. And honeybees make honey. Honeybees are a very common and well-known species of bee. But honeybees are not the only type of bee. Like honeybees, bumblebees also live in a hive with a queen. But instead of making honey, bumblebees just store nectar. And unlike honeybees, bumblebees, their colonies only live for a year. Actually, less than a year. Then, in the fall, the workers will actually turn against their queen and sting her to death. This results in the end of the bumblebee colony. This bumblebee is pollinating a marigold flower. Like all bees, only female bumblebees sting. Male bees don't sting. This bumblebee is going to be attacked by a territorial wool-carder bee. Wool-carder bee males are extremely territorial. Although they don't sting, they have very strong mandibles and are aggressive towards other bees. Unlike honeybees, which live in a beehive, bumblebees, such as this yellow-faced bumblebee, live in holes in the ground, such as abandoned mouse burrows. And although honeybees and bumblebees are some of the more well-known types of bees, most bees actually are solitary, which means that they do not live in colonies. I don't know, but I think that bee was a longhorn bee. Longhorn bees are a kind of solitary bee, and only the males have very long antennas. But all I'm seeing is the ones with long antennas, so it might not be a longhorn bee, because the females have short antennae. Longhorn bees are called longhorn bees because the males have long antennas. This is another kind of solitary bee. This metallic, shiny, dark green bee is a small carpenter bee. They nest in wood and hollow stems. But they sometimes nest in non-hollow stems, and how they do that is by removing the pulp from the dry stem. They collect pollen and carry it into their nest in a hollow stem. And these small carpenter bees are also solitary because only one bee lives in the hollow stem. But once there is enough pollen and nectar in the hollow stem, the bee lays eggs. The eggs hatch into larvae which eat the pollen and drink the nectar. The larva becomes a pupa, which then becomes an adult small carpenter bee, which leaves the nest. This small carpenter bee is pollinating oregano flowers. Bees are very important. Without bees, we would not only not have honey, we also wouldn't have fruit or vegetables. But how do bees pollinate flowers? A bee lands on a flower and brushes against the stamen, which is the part of the flower that carries the pollen. The bee gets pollen on its body and then flies away and lands on a different flower. The bee then brushes against the stigma, and the pollen rubs off and lands on the stigma. Then the flower can make its seeds. But as well as pollinating flowers, bees, especially honeybees, need pollen for other reasons. Bees store pollen in their hive to feed to their larvae. And honeybees will mix the pollen with honey to make a substance called bee bread. In a honeybee hive, the queen lays all of the eggs. Although many people are afraid of bees, bees aren't aggressive and are unlikely to sting unless you mess with them or their colony. Some species don't even sting at all. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe for more Nature Kid videos. Bye!